Miguel Cotto is a very respected and respectable businessman. If you don't, you got to watch his interviews or the like thereof, and pretty much do some research on, well, he's not the type of guy to cross somebody like Bob Arum in HBO, for a payday. I don't care how much it is. It just doesn't seem like that guy. But if you don't know, Canelo versus Cotto, and I'm saying that for a reason, Canelo versus Cotto on May the 2nd is off. Now, the reason why I feel it's off, now there's so many reasons. The reason why I feel it's off is you got to understand, right? That fight would be Canelo versus Cotto because Cotto is not Mexican. That's been Canelo. Who was talking all that Cinco de Mayo stuff? Think about it. Oh, thank you. Who was talking all that Cinco de Mayo stuff? That was Canelo barking orders saying, I'm taking back Cinco de Mayo and I'm going to fight Miguel Cotto. And I'm thinking to myself, Miguel Cotto's just probably sitting there straight ass face like, I was asking myself, does Miguel Cotto know about this? Because I'm thinking, that's not how, Miguel Cotto's been working A-side. Now, people are going to argue and say that Canelo's A-side because the pay-per-view numbers and all that. In Cotto's mind, in Cotto's world, he's A-side, and also Cotto has the belt A-side. So, let's not argue that, because if Canelo wants to fight Cotto, Cotto's going to be A-side, and you got to understand that part. But people say, well, Canelo versus Cotto is off on May the 2nd because Cotto is going to fight Mayweather in the second fight. You know how much sense that doesn't make on so many levels. Now, if it does happen, I would be shocked. But at the same time, that would be that would be devastating to the world of boxing. But let me try to explain. Freddie Roach trains both Manny Pacquiao and Miguel Cotto. If Miguel Cotto was to fight Floyd Mayweather on May the 2nd, because it has to be May the 2nd, then Pacquiao normally fights in April. Miguel Cotto does not want and should not ever have a double training camp with Manny Pacquiao. You two #1 stars that get their individual time. You don't want to say, all right, Pit Manny, you go, and I got to be with Cotto. No, it just doesn't work like that. So when you think about the fact that, well, if Cotto fights Mayweather in May, then that's going to be Freddie Roach, and then who is Manny Pacquiao is going to step aside and not fight in April? Well, people going to say, well, Manny can fight, and Manny always fights in April. So a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. And I think to myself, I understand the way Golden Boy Promotions feels. But when it comes to the networks and when it comes to what the fans want to see, the only way we wanted to see Canelo versus Cotto on Cinco de Mayo is if Mayweather fought somebody like Amir Khan. But the fact that it's Manny Pacquiao, it's like, and then Canelo still thinking that he can take that date. It's like, nah, Canelo, you have lost. You have lost the date. Floyd Mayweather is going to make sure you don't get that date by either fighting Miguel Cotto, which, once again, I said I doubt, or fighting Pacquiao, because he knows, that's his time. He can't have somebody like Canelo that he beat, pooing on his date, So even though Floyd Mayweather's not Mexican, I can understand. But Cotto, who is he going to fight? Anthony Mundine, that's a video I'm going to do independently. You got Clottey out there, again, who called him out on Twitter. You got Demetrius Andrade, which a lot of people feel would be too dangerous of a fight for Canelo to take at this point in time in his career. But he's a warrior. What if he does take it? You got K9. You got him, and I'm talking about fights that can be made. And let's just leave it at that. You got David Lemieux, but don't think about David Lemieux now. Think about that later on down the line. And when you talk about Golovkin, Canelo Golovkin can possibly happen around the end of this year. Can possibly happen, or definitely in 2016. But I just don't see, with all the videos I did, especially during my Google Hangout last night that I did, I really don't see the point in keep, sticking on to this video. Just keep, going with this video, because really, if you really think about it logically, you would think like, oh yeah, well, Cotto probably wanted to just fight in September, or Cotto want to have a tune-up in between Canelo. After all, he was going to fight Sergio Martinez, then take 11 months off, TstreeT controversy, TstreeT controversy love.